We're back.
Oh, we're back. Okay, good. Okay.
Yes.
And our guest is here.
Huh? Yeah. Well, it's okay. We're introducing. We have our featured guest. She's an all-around entertainer. She's her name is Teria Morada, and she's a singer, dancer, and a choreographer, and she's a former Olympian. And we're going to ask her all about that in a new single that just dropped yesterday. So welcome.
I can't really hear you. Hi. I hear you talking about me, but I can't hear what you're saying exactly.
Oh, well, maybe you got to put up is your mic up or?
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can hear you good.
Yeah, but maybe turn up your speakers or something.
I can't hear what you're saying.
Is it on mute?
Oh, there we go.
No. Oh, you got it. Okay, great.
I clicked my mic off and then I clicked it back on.
Nice.
Oh, look at you! Look at you! Look at you! There's Teria. Can you tell everybody where you're coming from?
I'm right now in Scarborough.
No, your background.
My background. I was born in Toronto, Canada. My parents and my family background has Italian, Spanish, Moroccan, Greek, French, a lot of everything. Mexican by association, by family, not by blood, but raising. I lived in Mexico. I lived in LA. I am a representation of the world.
Oh, hi, 57. I don't know where half the Hugh. Is Hugh there? Oh, he's not. But it's okay. Well,
no, I'm here. I'm just
there he is.
Stuff. Don't worry. I'm here with you.
Oh, you messed up my sound.
He's here by sound. I don't know what's going on. Ask me.
I got you. I hear you.
Okay, guys.
All right. You are a singer and a choreographer. So wait, let's flip back. So how did you get into the industry?
Okay. So my mom was going to the gym to work out, and there was a little kind of nursery kind of thing. It was like a ballet class for kids. So she would put me in there when I was 3 years old, because I was always dancing when I was born and like dancing in my chair. She's like, I'm going to put this kid in ballet. So I went into ballet and I started to get pretty good. And then 5 years old, I was in jazz and tap. And then at 8 years old, I went into rhythmic gymnastics, and I got really serious in that and became provincial champion. And at 12, I won my first national title, junior national title, under 15. And then I won again. I was on the national team, and I was still dancing. So still doing stuff in the arts, but I had to like focus a little bit more on gymnastics. I also did some TV commercials and started to get into, recordings and stuff like that. I didn't actually sing until I was about 15 or 16. And when I retired, believe it or not, at 15 as a gymnast, I really delved into dance and started to do stuff more professionally, and then decided I wanted to take up singing a little bit more professionally as well. I was doing some background here and there, some cabaret, some theater, Cuban cabaret, Tropicana. And then, I don't know, I just got in my car and drove to Los Angeles with my friends and started making it happen over there for like 12 years.
Wow.
So I got to ask.
And now I'm back in Toronto. Unfortunately, I came back under not so nice pretense, like it was kind of a sad situation. My mother fell ill. I had some immigration issues, and I came home, and then my mom's illness got really bad, and she passed away, and I was with her here in Toronto. And then I was kind of like, didn't know what I was going to do, if I was going to try and go back to the States or go back to Mexico or what. And then personal things happened. I got married and ended up staying in Toronto and started putting out music this last year and a half. And like 7 songs later, here we are.
Wow. Yeah. You say you want to say something?
Well, I'm just, I just, can you hear me there, Teria?
You're like shaky, like a robot.
Oh, let me, okay, it's a bandwidth. Okay, just, so it sounds like a real adventure to just hop in your car and drive to Los Angeles.
You said it sounds like a real adventure for you to just hop in your car and go to Los Angeles.
Well, what happened was I was living with 2 girls at the time, Angela and Nisa, which they're probably on my wall everywhere. I have like a wall of fame in my house. And so they were my besties, and we all looked the same. We started out dancing for Snow when Snow did his third album, Mind on the Moon. And we started to live together and started booking things together because the three of us looked alike and we could dance similar, hip hop, Latin, jazz. We kind of had all these things going on. And one girl said, you go, guys, two of my best friends moved to LA for other reasons. Why don't we just go and try? And I was thinking more Miami. I was more Miami type vibe. And she's like, come on, let's just do it. Let's just do it. And I was kind of hesitant. And I was like, nah, whatever. So the three of us got into the cars, 2 cars and another friend. And we drove across the country. And it wasn't easy. We got stopped at the border. We had to come back, and we stopped in all these different cities, and we did crazy things. And then we got to Vegas, and we have like, woo, we're in Vegas. And then my aunt and uncle and cousins were in Vegas. So I went to meet with them, and we hung out. And then boom, we got to LA. Boom, like a month of fun. And then boom, reality hits. This is no more vacation. This is where we live now. Sort of. We were kind of going back and forth. Like,
it's expensive down there too in LA. You know what I mean?
Yes. And so we started to hustle and started to dance like everywhere because we danced salsa and belly dance and samba and Bollywood and all these things. We were gigging, whereas other dancers that were coming to the city were like kind of starving artists. We were starving artists too, but we had this other outlet because we're Canadian and we learned all these cultural dances. We had this little inn where we did these little shows on the side for like cash and on the weekends and stuff like that. So we'd go to auditions and we go to class like everybody else, but then we had our weekend gigs. Plus I was singing, plus I was choreographing for all these different companies. So it kind of like started to work out, but it was a grind. It was a grind.
Wow.
And then one girl left. She came back to Canada, opened a yoga studio. And then I came back like, 7 years later, and one of us is still there and she's doing her thing over there still.
Wow. So what inspires you to do what you do? What makes you, you do all so much things. So what inspires you?
Oh, good question.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this is it's just who I am, So like I get out of bed and I'm thinking 5, 6, 7, 8 choreography. I'm thinking 1, 2, 3, 4. This hook, that's so la 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 la. Like there's always something artistic going on in my brain. I mean, I am human and I do have human thoughts and my overthinker, like a typical Aries woman would be. But I find inspiration in whatever as well. Like if someone says, "Hey, what about this?" I will find a way to build a story around it. And I do things a little bit like that story building inspiration, like a situation or even a piece of music. I'll hear a piece of music and I'll be like, that makes me feel like I'm jumping off a building and flying with these beautiful wings. And then all of a sudden this choreography will come out that way. So I'm inspired all the time. It's like an endless thing.
So we have an image there of you. Is that your husband that's in that picture? I don't know if you could bring it up. The picture that we have.
I don't see a picture.
Wait, hold on. It's gonna come.
I'm not married anymore, but that's okay.
Oh.
Oh, you're talking about the picture of my album cover? No, that's my partner. Okay, so he's the guy that I do. Well, he's not my husband, although everyone thinks he's my husband. I'm no longer married.
Well, because you're naked there, so naked. People.
If you knew our history, let's see if I got a little quick. Like our history goes back to like there, like back like 8 years ago, where we I was his choreographer for a group that he was in, and then we clicked, and we've always had a special connection. And so we've had this musical journey this last year and a half together. He's Ben Anthony Lavos, and my students made this name 10, Ben and Teria together. We're now 10. So we're doing some fusion and some partner stuff, and we've gone on tour together. That is the Oye Latinos is a new app by the Latin Canadian community that you can find all Canadian content, Canadian Latin content, and there's all kinds of things like vendors, lawyers, entertainment. There's everything on this app, and they've included us, and we have a 20-song playlist between the two of us, 4 songs together, and a couple of 7 songs, I think, individually. And he is my partner in crime. Everyone does think he's my husband. Maybe another time he was. We do have an interesting relationship.
Well, you gotta be good friends if you're posing up like that. I tell you.
I don't even know. We're like twin flames. I don't know. We're like this weird thing. But yeah, that's supposed to be like an Adam and Eve type thing. You know what I mean? That was the kind of thing. And because we've done like a little pop thing, we've done like the urban thing. We thought we'd go classy, sexy, natural, because we're not gonna go into the trashy, type stuff. We're gonna try and keep it classy, but that's pushing the envelope, I think, the classiest way possible.
Well, that's nice.
We weren't naked. We were actually both wearing underwear, but it was photoshopped out. And that's my aunt's backyard. And people were calling her saying, "What are you guys filming back there?" And she's like, "No, it's my niece's album cover."
So what's the craziest thing you've done that happened to you during your career? Like the thing that you're like, "Oh my God, I can't believe that happened to me."
Oh, geez, there's so many. Okay.
Well, you can say two.
Probably, okay, aside from costume pieces falling off, which has definitely happened a few times. I had a shoe. I was in South Korea performing a long time ago, a youngin', and I was doing the Macarena with I was dressed like a little maid, and there was a cowboy and anyway, we were all dressed up, and I had this little thing, and I used to throw it in the air, and I did this big gymnastics trick, and I had a dance shoe that had an elastic, and my shoe went flying into the audience, and I was so embarrassed.
It hit somebody?
It didn't hit anybody. It landed beside somebody, but I actually ran into the audience, and I picked it up and I put it on, and I continued the show. I was like, hey, it was part of the show. A lot of things happened.
All right, and the next, okay, I'll give you two, so go ahead.
Okay, and then I'd say more recently, this was more of embarrassing, I think, than anything else, but I went to my first show in the Dominican with Ben and with our team, with our dancers and management and all that. And first, it was very ugh. We got there, was like, get off the plane, go to the place, sleep for 2 seconds, run over here, run over there. And so the first place we get, the biggest show, Extremo Extremo. And I'm like, can I do a sound check? And they're like, what do you mean, sound check? And I'm like, I'd like to do a quick sound check before we sing our set. We're doing like a 15-minute set. And he's like, they're looking at me. They're like, 15 minutes, sound check. They thought I was like nuts. And I'm like, what? They're like, you can do 2 songs and you're not going to sing live. And I'm like, what do you mean I'm not singing live? I didn't understand. I was so shocked. I was like, okay, what? I'm like, but my songs are TV tracks. I don't have lead vocals in the verses and stuff. I just have background vocals. And they're like, then they said, okay, sound check, 2 seconds. So they played the track, and my partner starts first, and he sing his song, and then I sing a song, and then we sing a song together. So they played his track, and they were standing there waiting. I'm like, that's my partner's song. Can you fast forward real quick and let me just do the beginning of my part? And they're like, no, we don't have time. Sorry. And they set me on stage. So I'm on stage, and I start singing, and there's no sound. So you hear nothing. And I'm like, tapping on my microphone live. All this stuff, tapping on the mic. All of a sudden, the sound comes on, and then you hear my voice. But it was weird segue. You could see kind of, I was in my face. I was trying to keep it really cool. And then of course, that's the first clip that ends up on the internet of my Dominican tour. And it's me tapping on the microphone, trying to get some sound on. And then once the sound was on, it was so frazzling. It was kind of not that good anyway. So it was kind of just a weird experience. And they're like, you always have to come prepared with your tracks just the way they are, and be prepared to lip sync, and be prepared to sing on top of your tracks. So 9 times out of 10 now, especially that we're doing live stream stuff, you're just sing on top of your track or lip sync. I'm like, I prefer not to lip sync. I work my butt off to do this live sing and dance. Why am I going to lip sync, But
well, can you sing a little something for us now, or no? Before we're going to play your video or something.
I didn't warm up my voice. Okay, would you like something English or Spanish?
Whichever. If you want to sing in Spanish, it's fine. If you want to sing, it's up to you.
I will sing something in English just because it's a little a cappella part of one of my songs.
Okay.
So I might as well do that. I might sing it a little lower because I'm not warm, but hey. Cool?
Yes.
You're taking me higher. You make me feel good. My one desire is to get higher, higher, higher from your love.
What, girl?
I'm
You
so
can
extra.
sing, girl.
I'm so extra. Oh my God.
You can sing. You know what? We're not producing people here. You know what I mean? Because people gonna see it. They're gonna say you could sing, but you know, you're such a well-rounded individual. So the stuff that you want to do, you know, what kind of legacy do you want to leave and impart to people? It's, you know, when you pass on, or what kind of thing can you give to people that are coming up and coming artists and stuff? What can you tell them? Because some of them think it's easy, but it's not.
No. Okay. So for advice to people that are up and coming, I have a few people that I've been training since they were like 8 or 9 years old in the dance department. Some of them are musically inclined. And so I'm like grooming the next generation already. Okay. I have been for a while. And I tell them all the time, they're like, I want to dance like you. I can't dance like you. I'm like, look, talent and natural ability is cool. But the ones that usually go beyond are the ones that put 100,000% of themselves into what they're doing. So I tell them the work ethic part is huge on what you want to do, no matter what it is, whether it be dance and arts and stuff like that. And I'm like, and your parents are not going to want you to follow in my footsteps. Just saying. But if you do, it's going to be the hardest work you will ever imagine. And if you're not willing to do it, this might not be the industry for you. Otherwise, but you know what, even just a side note, anything that you do, whether it be art related or lawyer, doctor, whatever, you have to put the work in. It doesn't just poof, land in your lap.
Yeah, it just like a lot of people when you interview people, like it's supposed to thing, but you have to come from a background. Oh, when you interview people,
body thing again. Let's try my mic thing. Hold on.
My mic's on.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
Okay.
You're back better.
All right. Okay.
You were.
A lot of people think that when you interview people and stuff like that, it's easy, but you have to come from a background, and it takes a while. You just can't jump up and say, you know what, I want to do this, and it takes time, and it's not necessarily that you're in that field, but you have to nurture it. You have to grow it. You know what I mean? And you have to be able to adjust because the world is changing. And if you're doing things that you were doing in way back when, you have to change to adjust, you know, and that's when they're giving you those kind of skills, right?
Well, actually, to be honest with you, I was just asked to be in this project, which was Afro-Peruvian rhythms with TikTok. They wanted me to fuse the TikTok stuff with this Afro old folk dance. And it's a really dope, it's a really like saborcito, like it has good rhythms and stuff. So I was like, I'm not a huge fan of TikTok and I'm not on TikTok, but my students love TikTok. And I'm like, guys, you guys are doing moves from the 80s and the 90s. All those hip hop moves redone. That's all you're doing. Like, that's what's happening. And I'm like, this was this. And I'll show them what it was, right? But I'm like, they teach me and I teach them. So I knew all the TikTok moves. So I put it all together and it ended up, I don't know, it's like 700,000 hits later. It's doing really well.
Yeah, but you know, we danced well, but when we were back in the day, we danced. We had, you could not go out anywhere and not know how to dance,
of course,
and not know how to move. You because you'd be so embarrassed. You'd be embarrassed to go out. You better know how to dance, and you better figure out, because and if you're with somebody, that person better know how to dance with you also.
And you know what? Go ahead.
No, and if they don't know how to move, then the guys would know, hey, well, they're not really together because it looks like, you know, they don't really know how to move together.
That's right. Their groove would be better. And I was just going to go back to the second part of your question real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
To leave my legacy, the reason why I go back to that is because that's an interesting question, but I want to be remembered as someone that went after my dreams, and that no matter what the level of success is, like, I did what I came here to do. and that's entertain people. Maybe teach people as well, but entertain, create, and entertain. And I've been doing it my whole life. Very seldomly have I done something else. I have dabbled in other things, but nothing.
So all you've been doing is entertainment then. You don't do any other work. This is your lifestyle. It's not work, it's your lifestyle.
It's been my life since I was a teenager. I think when I finished like some college, I went, someone's like, oh, go work at this printing shop. My friend owns it. And I went to the printing shop and I was like copying my headshots and doing stuff like that. And I was like, always like, what am I doing here? And then I got a part in Tropicua, like a Cuban cabaret show. And I was like, bye. Like I've tried to have a couple of normal jobs or even working in a gym as a secretary. I've teach fitness in a gym. I teach dance fitness. I teach gymnastics. I teach choreography. I'm still doing all the dance stuff. I have a dance company. I do dance shows, except for COVID time, every weekend, 2-3 shows a week. So I am constantly creating or teaching or entertaining. That's my little home of stuff. Outside of that, like, you know, I might do some graphic stuff for myself or for my partner or edit some things, but it all has to do with my art. Always comes back to the art. I don't do anything else at this point. Actually, ever. Except for school. I was like, oh.
Hey, okay. Well, so I have a question. I don't know if you can hear me, Teria.
I can hear you. I can hear you now.
Yay. Okay. So, and we only got a couple minutes left, and then we're going to play the video. But so you're back, but you're doing all this stuff. Sounds amazing. And you're here in Toronto after having gone to LA. Like, do you want to, would you like to go back there, or can you do this all in Toronto, or what do you think about that?
No, now the era we're in now, anything can be done from home. Toronto for me is the best city in the world. I won't change it. I may, you know, at some point have another home somewhere warmer because I do like a warmer climate, and living in LA and Mexico, I got used to that. Mm-hmm. But I will never call anywhere else home. That's for sure. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. Like, this is it for me. I'm going to be travel international always. I've done that always. I've gone abroad, China, Korea, Puerto Rico, wherever. But this is where it's at. Maybe I won't live in Scarborough forever, but I've lived all over Toronto anyways. But who knows? I love Scarborough. Right now, it's where it's at. I have an old apartment. It's huge. I have a dance studio in my living room.
Wow.
I have a recording studio, like a recording booth. Closet Swag Studios. Come for a walk. Check it out.
Oh, nice.
I got a little booth with instruments.
Oh my God.
Little hand instruments. And then if you come over here, this is my studio. This is a mirror. Wow. You're looking in the mirror right now. So that's where a lot of the
That's where the magic happens.
Yeah. And you know, because of COVID time, I'm not doing what I normally do. I have lost a lot of my entertainment shows and stuff. We're doing a lot of stuff online, but like the 3 shows I was doing a week since March have been gone. I do one here, one there, some opportunity, things open up. We do something, we come out, you know, we're trying to keep it creative and try to keep the music flowing and going. I do teach a lot of dance and gymnastics online. I'm only allowed in the gym 1 day a week, and I do 9 privates back to back, all my private lessons on 1 day. And I kill myself that day, but I need to do it. I want to maintain, I want to keep the flow for my students. I want to keep the flow for myself. I also like work out by teaching full out. I teach gymnastics full out. I teach dance full out. Some of the coaches hate me because I do everything full out, and I'm like the favorite teacher. But that's how I keep myself in shape mentally and physically, you know.
Okay, Teria, so we got your song ready to go. We only got about 10 seconds left. Okay, you want to let people know how to get in touch with you?
I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Teria Morada Music, TeriaMorada Music. Also on YouTube. Check me out. You can Google me. I'm pretty much everywhere.
Okay, all right. Great. Well, okay, that's it for the show. Thanks, Teria. We got the video.
Thank you guys for having me.
Okay. No problem. Okay, thanks.
I'll see you again soon.
Solo, si no te tengo aquí a mi lado. Sola, la situación está muy complicada. Solo, me encuentro como un bobo enamorado. Sola, todo de mí a ti te
no me quites la vida mía.
cae encima y ya no sé qué hacer si no te tengo a mi lado, mujer.
No me quites la vida mía y pa, el dolor me cae encima y ya no sé qué hacer si no te tengo a mi lado, hombre. Con el tiempo, pero al final del cuento todo se lleva con el viento. Aquí es donde yo detengo por ti mi reggaetón lento. Hey, hey, hey. Sola, solo.
No me quites la vida mía y más. El dolor me cae encima y ya no sé qué hacer si no te tengo a mi lado, mujer.
No me quites la vida
que no, mente torcida, I don't know. Yo creo que sí, yo creo que no, mamita, dímelo. Por favor, please, please don't go. Ya no sé qué es el amor si lo he dado todo. Te buscaré por todo el mundo para tenerte hoy.
Tengo a mi lado, hombre.
Sola.